afternoon. Firstly, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Lina Staskeviciene. I represent State Territorial Planning and Construction Inspectorate under the Ministry of Environment. And here I serve as an acting head of State Supervision of Construction Department. And today my purpose is to present the main objectives of the construction industry in Lithuania, shortly about our this year achievements and the challenges we are facing with. So let's start with our achievements. So where's my presentation?
It's coming slowly. The presentation is being uploaded from the cloud in Lithuania, Lithuanian cloud. No, it should be here in a couple of seconds, I believe. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Now it's just you can talk about blue. Like
about myself.
ideal situation in construction business, I believe, in Lithuania.
Okay.
The question I will address that in Latvian for the technical people.
We don't need slides, so I can talk.
Okay.
So, firstly about our achievements. According to World Bank rankings, in dealing with building permit, we are doing well enough because this year Lithuania was ranked in the 16th place. In ease of doing business, we were ranked in the 21st place. Last year we were in the top 20, so this year we have lost one position. But it doesn't mean that in Lithuania there are no business reforms. They do take place, but maybe slowly presently. According to World Economics Forum annual reports, recently Lithuania improves its competitiveness indicators, and this year we are one position higher than last year and 13 positions higher than 3 years ago. Of course, the top of rankings you don't see. The top of rankings continues to be dominated by highly advanced Western economies and several Asian tigers like Singapore and Hong Kong. But we are glad about our increasing competitiveness because we believe that a competitive economy is a productive one. And productivity leads to growth, which leads to income levels and improved well-being. So it seems maybe slowly, but we are moving in the right direction. However, according to statistics of Lithuania, construction industry is not a leading contributor to the increase in Lithuanian economy. And foreign direct investment flows in construction sector comparing with other fields are not as big as it wanted to be. Here we can. So
Hallelujah.
Here we are. And the chart illustrates the figures of foreign direct investment flows. Evidence from several investment consulting organizations indicates the relative importance of regulatory environment as a factor for investment decision. Of course, there were announced more motives to invest, like skilled workforce availability, infrastructure, and lower cost. But after all, an effective legal system is one of the absolute prerequisites to a positive transition to market economy. So, a legal framework, simple and certain, in which construction may develop, was one of the major priorities of our this year. So this leads me to my next part of presentation, to the changes in the legal framework. And after 2 years debate on the draft law on construction, the Parliament in this year's spring adopted a new version of the law on construction. And the main changes are focused on reduction of regulatory burden on business. And it means that construction documents will be issued in more shortened terms and procedures will be more flexible. And of course, very important new requirements ensuring quality of the construction works and third parties guarantees during construction works and after construction works are completed. So firstly, by the new law, the official time for issuing building permit was reduced. And in the slide, simplified exceptional significance building permit process is shown. And it comprised from application checking, announcing institutions which must check the project, then project checking stage, and issuance of the document. As you see, the project checking time was reduced from 35 to 20 days. And now the whole process takes about 45 days, and after the law enters, it will take 30 days. And permits for non-exceptional significance buildings like 1 or 2 apartment houses will be terms will be more shortened, and the whole process will take only 20 days. Secondly, okay. So
the clicker died.
I think he died.
Can you give me that? We're gonna check. Maybe the different direction. It's. I'm strongly doubting this digitalization in Latvian construction sector. After we can we switch slide like in centralized mode? No? Okay. It's stuck there forever. Okay. After 25 years, you're going to come back.
So look at the process of building permit. So secondly, the number of institutions which must check the project before issuing building permit was reduced from 17 to 10. And from the building permit process were eliminated those institutions were eliminated those institutions whose requirements are more related with building usage, not with the construction. For example, State Labor Inspectorate, State Food and Veterinary Service, Fire and Rescue Department. And we hope that will simplify the building permit process also. Thirdly, after the law enters, architectural requirements will be voluntary. Presently they are mandatory, but architectural requirements which are being set by city architect are already applicable legal requirement set, and they are already known by client or must be known. So the client will be able to decide for himself if he needs these requirements or not. Of course, whether or not requirements are requested, building must be designed and built in such a way that it is in compliance with building codes and other legal acts. And finally, by the new law, lower risk constructions were eliminated. Where is my slide? Okay, we can stop here. Were eliminated from the requirement for final inspection by State Territorial Planning and Construction Inspectorate. And final inspection could be done by independent expert. It is disputed that even more functions of state or public authorities in the field of supervision of construction could be delegated to the private sector entities in the nearest future. Also, I would like to mention or to proud that in Lithuania process of issuing building permit is completely electronic, and due to completely electronic process, 60% time is spent on getting construction document. So in the nearest future we are planning to modernize the system and to develop more advanced electronic services. So here we came to the quality requirements. The appearance of new requirements for quality assurance in the new law were strongly influenced by State Territorial Planning and Construction Inspectorate, because the Inspectorate provides about 20,000 inspections and documentary checks. Of course, most of them are planned, but a big number of inspections are carried out while investigating complaints. And it is during inspections and documentary checks it is noticed that the quality of building projects is worsening. Building projects are not detailed enough. Low quality drawing specifications, building project solutions are in conflict with each other. So naturally that due to poor quality building projects, building quality is worsening too. So we are very concerned about it. And every quarter when the results of inspections are summarized, we give reports and offer the government to improve legal acts by tightening requirements related with project preparation. So maybe our reports were read and our offers were had, and some amendments related with project preparation were made. In accordance with the existing legal regulation, qualification certificates are granted to architects and civil engineers who wish to assume the duties of managers at designing and construction works of exceptional significance. It means that all other non-exceptional significant buildings can be designed by specialists who hasn't got document that approves their qualification. It is important to mention that in Lithuania, exceptional significant buildings accounts only about 5%. It means that 95% structures are allowed to design and to build by architects and civil engineers without maybe appropriate expertise. Of course, it doesn't mean that all specialists do their job bad, but we have had poor examples. For example, I mean defects and failures in construction facilities, which results large costs. So that's why the new version of the law on construction stipulates that from the 1st of January in 2018, qualification certificates will be compulsory also for architects and managers of construction works of non-exceptional significance. So we hope that it will enhance not only the quality of buildings and projects, but also the responsibility of specialists. And shortly about defect problem in Lithuania. In Lithuania, according to law, compulsory civil liability insurance is obligatory for designers of construction works, technical supervisor of construction, and contractor. The insurance object is the policyholder's liability for the damage caused to the third persons which take place during the effect of the insurance contract. And then construction is completed if guarantee time is not established in agreement. The defects of construction work should be defined in a period not less than 5 years. It is naturally that the goal of this regulation is to ensure third parties' guarantees when defects occur. But in Lithuania is a popular phenomenon of bankruptcy, new company establishment scenario. In other words, deliberate bankruptcy. So in such cases, it is almost impossible or takes too long to demand from responsible persons to correct these defects. So new amendments of the law require managers in the major areas of the construction technical activity to allocate funds for 3 years in order to ensure defect removal, and the amount cannot be less than 5% of the construction cost of the building. And finally, I would like to finish my presentation about our challenges and our next future steps. So the first challenge we're facing with is skilled workforce availability. Skills shortage, that's exactly what contractors are facing with in our country. A skills shortage from bricklayers to quantity surveyors. There's a chronic lack of expertise, and we're afraid that it may affect the continued growth of the construction industry as a contributor to Lithuania's economy. The other challenge is sustainability concern, and in Lithuania, also in the whole world, the construction industry is the top global consumer of raw materials. And achieving targets for global carbon dioxide emissions reduction will be a major challenge for the construction energy. So smart planning and sustainable design could reduce energy consumption and pollution, but it needs a new approach to project management. Approach that Lithuanian construction industry is only preparing to undertake. And next steps. So the next steps of Lithuanian construction industry will be preparing for the digital future, Digitalization of the construction industry is not a question of if or when. The changes are happening now. And the Lithuanian government officially agreed to the initiative to digitalize construction sector. And the implementation model and plan of action now is to be discussed. So we believe that digitalization will change most everything, including the competitors and the barriers to entry. And the end result, a more productive and profitable industry that builds more sustainable assets. So that's all I wanted to say today. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Lina.